Yeah, second map. Now, I'm fairly sure that the losers actually get to pick map. They do their drafts, and then of the remaining maps they pick. It's ESV Tempest going to Haunted Mines.
Definitely, I'm so surprised I'm not seeing Blackheart's Bay. No, I'm just kidding. Haunted Mines though, wonder if they have something sneaky planned.
Well, you have a little bit more flexibility with the Haunted Mines in terms of your team comp because it's not all about the kills. It's more about the golem, but the kills are great. But either way, I mean, you can definitely run double specialist on here, double tank, double support. There's definitely a lot of winning combinations. So you don't have to draft as typical. Maybe they do have something up their sleeve. I mean, when Abathur was in the rise, Dunk Train Abathur on this map is like whoever goes Abathur on Haunted Mines. I mean, you're not soaking. It's not a big map. You're always getting ganked, but he showed that it can definitely be done. So we'll have to see what the plan is here from Tempest.
So we have pulled up the draft now. So far, no bans have gone out. We got Heroes Hype on the right and Tempest on the left. Heroes Hype, of course, having the first pick this round, and they are going to take away the Kerrigan.
Nick Hotz actually remembers the all kill from QXC, so that warms my soul. I'm not making it up, I swear. Kerrigan ban has been very popular over the last little bit. Predominantly, I see it banned out against Cloud9 and now Evil Geniuses because ZPs and Zuna, they do some really good things with their melees. But we just saw the Kerrigan do absolute work last round. Heroes Hype says we're not going to give you that option. And the flip side, of course, is going to be Stitches here.
Kerrigan and Stitches both definitely strong on the Haunted Mines. Kerrigan early game, of course, on the Haunted Mines is ridiculously strong. So taking that away. Of course, they could have left it for themselves, but I guess first picking a Kerrigan is a little bit scary as she can get blown up just as fast as she can kill somebody. So,
Yep. I've definitely seen games where Quibsy, for example, just gets absolutely locked down, blown up, and is a null factor. You got to really play around some of those melees. But with Kerrigan out and Haunted Mines coming in, I'm curious to see if we're going to see a Zeratul. There's not as many places you can get those Void Prisons because it's a bit more of a spaced out map despite its size. There's not a lot of chokes that you can actually find it on. But that being said, he's still a very strong pick in terms of just the map presence and getting into it. You can easily poke into the back line and set up some of those kills with proper VPs.
definitely Zeratul's. I think he's one of the heroes that has always been pretty consistent throughout every single patch. He's not too strong or too weak. He's in that perfect spot to where he's a nice flex pick.
Mm-hmm.
Tassadar
Yeah.
being picked up first.
It's a
Strong.
strong pick. Yeah.
Shields, healing ward, clear, wave clear. So
So I've been seeing a lot of Tassadar. I mean, yes, he did get nerfed. He's no longer the big badass that he is, but that's okay. He's supposed to be a support. But double healing wards have been spotted repeatedly throughout solo queue, throughout a lot of these team fight games now. So who would be the support here with the healing ward? Would be Malfurion, I think.
very likely, and definitely healing ward has gone up just because of the fact that it doesn't die from random AOE anymore. So it makes it that much more difficult to take it out. Definitely a strong pick
You
there.
put yourself over top of it, and then of course, anytime that they click on trying to get the ward, they're actually now clicking on you because you're body blocking it essentially from the mouse. It's a strong tactic, or you put it far in the back, nobody can get to it, etc., etc. Flip side, Arthas and Vala, a very frequent first pick round.
Super strong tank, super strong damage dealer, and mobile too. She can get into the mines and move and take them out very quickly. So Tempest looking like they've got their game plan and it's just working out perfectly for them. Tassadar, no big deal. Wonder how they'll round it out as well.
Well, with the Arthas out, I mean, usually you're going to look at Ethereal, but if they don't take it this round, that will put us up for a double team, double warrior comp here from ESV. But if they don't take it then I mean, Heroes Hype, the gamble will pay off. But they cannot ignore the Tychus as of right now, so they're going to take that into the back. I would expect to see the Tyrael right here if they don't want to get stuck with a Mirrodin or if they don't want to get stuck with an ETC, but they're going to risk it. They're going to go with the Nazeebo.
Interesting. I don't know how else to say. Just interesting. They have some great lane clear though.
You can put Nazeebo in his own lane. You can push with him. Same here with the Tychus. Both of them will do well in those first few minutes. that we do have no mines ready to go. And even between then, melting point's great. The Nazebo stacking his stacks is just absolutely phenomenal for this map. So what is ESV now going to prioritize? Because I'd expect to see the support coming out here. They want to make sure, I think, that they get the Uther just so that they can sprint in and get off those stuns.
Yeah, they definitely need somebody that can close down or shut down the Nazebo, because if he Ravenous Spirits, that's a world of hurt for you. And especially when you have Arthas, if Nazebo can get off a really long duration Ravenous Spirit, just completely destroys his ghouls. And there's the Tyrael, so you're probably going to be seeing a lot of Judgment and Cast Aside just right onto the Nazebo the instant it's popped. So,
yeah. As I said, I would have prioritized the Tyrael just so that you could set up for something like the Nazebo, but and there's the Uther as well.
Yep.
So a lot of tools now at the disposal of Tempest to deal with Nazebo. It's always the dangers of taking a specialist early. You do leave yourself to counter picking, but this is Haunted Mines. You can actually get away with double specialist, and in terms of the last damage dealer here, it could actually be a Falstead, but we still need that tank, and we actually still need a support to go with the Tastar. No team in high meta will actually go without heals.
Yeah, it'd be definitely risky, to say the least, if they went without heals and instead they just tried to take the damage and burst damage them down, get through the sustain of Uther and the Tyrael shields, but Arthas as well. Ooh, they're gonna need somebody with a lot of CC, and I'm trying to think who. I mean, do they go with the Muradin?
Mirrodin with the Stormbolt, the Pierce avatar for the survivability, and I've actually seen Skullcracker in tournament games now for his auto attacks. It could definitely go. You could go for the Wombo with the ETC as well. Definitely. He has been seeing a lot more, and that would actually add a lot of survivability to the team in terms of groupies. Because of his just spam ability there. So the shields and the healing ward, the groupies, and then you add a support on the back of that. It's a very survivable team, but then you won't have anybody to chew through. Well, they're gonna try it anyways. Well, I mean, they can't go with a DPS. They already got their DPS slots filled basically. So
yeah, probably gonna pick up the Brightwing, maybe just so they can at least cleanse the ETC so he can get off a mosh pit. So it's going to be really up to the ETC if he can land that CC. Or, I mean, he could go stage dive, but seeing that they have a Nazebo and a Tychus, I think a mosh pit's probably their go-to.
Yeah, mosh pit and Ravenous. If you get all the CC in that pit, then there's absolutely nothing to stop the Ravenous as well. The reset with the Brightwing, I think, is absolutely on point. I mean, I said Malfurion a little bit earlier, but now looking at this, probably not a Malfurion. Because they could easily blow him up. He'd actually be forced into an ice block if he was having trouble. Instead of what do you go with 13 on a Malfurion? I think regrowth.
Yeah, the regrowth.
Well, we're gonna find out. 2, 1.
Brightwing. All right.
And flip side though, we got the great front line looking for a damage. Not a lot really to worry about except maybe the ETC coming in. So could be a Zagara, could be a siege tank, could be a Falstead. I mean,
all the options.
What else would you do?
I guess Falstead, if you're worried about ETC getting the cleanse off or having the cleanse put on him by the Brightwing, you could go Falstead with the Gust push, but that really hurts your damage, I feel, almost too much, too severely. So I could definitely see a Zagara with the Maw. Odin popped, boom, drop down the Maw and just completely negate it as much as you can. Zeratul also is always a good pick to try and fight off that Nazebo, VP, the Archon, and the Odin.
Yep.
So they definitely have options. If they did go with the Zeratul, though, that would put them at 4 melee. Although, probably not too worried about it, but...
I'd be afraid of clump up for the mosh pits.
Exactly, yeah. It does also, if they do get Zeratul, though, open up the window for a VP into Divine Storm, followed by Arthas Root, Reign of Vengeance, possibly. Like, there are a lot of combo options that Tempest can pull out, but...
There is no Clairvoyance available to hero type, so that would... but they do
have Tassadar, yeah.
Right. It's a discouraging factor to go up against a Tassadar as a stealth. Still, yeah, if you can use the Zeratul VP to preempt any kind of big wombos, yeah, you could set up for some major kill. But if you don't and you clump up, it's the flips. So you got problems on both sides. If they go with the Falstead, again, they have the setup for the Tyrael, the big wombo there. But no, they're actually going to go with the Zagara. So a Maw for a reset, but they also have some big lane presence now with her there.
Definitely a solid pick, I think, with the Zagara. Lane push can maw the Odin and the Archon, or even if she can get the Nazebo in there, super strong. Set up for the Divine Storm, so I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, it's just like a ranged character with a VP. Yeah, with that maul. It's going to come down to a lot of placement right there. And yeah, as long as you give them the go-ahead, looks like we're going to jump into it. Game number 2, Haunted Mines, guys. If Tempest brings us to game 3, then actually that would tickle me pink. But it is Heroes Hype. It is their game to lose, and it is their game to get into the majors.
I thought you were going to say tickle your pickle for a second. I was like, what?
I totally should have. That's, I might have to actually change that up in the future with these there. But, tickle me pink is definitely something I say every now and then.
So, be my guest, good sir. Please introduce the blue squad for me.
All right, they're down 0-1. This is their tournament lives on the line. It's a team that's been around for a long time under the ESV umbrella. ESV Tempest is now clumping up for a 5-man invade bottom. Treble, Oop, Tojam, and Earl, QXC, and Nightmare.
And then in the red trunks, we got Team Heroes Hype, pretty newly formed. We got Suki, Yuki, I love saying that, Hawkfu, Taza, and Ursadon.
Suki Yuki.
Suki Yuki.
Yep.
Yuki Suki.
That's
fun.
That's Suki Yuki, or Yuki Suki. No, I think I'm thinking yakitori. I think that's a food when you put them together, but no, it's totally not. The big invade coming in, I mean, with this huge front line from Tempest, they don't really have too much to worry about level 1. There's nobody at all that they have to worry about for Giant Slayers. You know, the early game damage from Nazebo, unless he gets off a big wall, is pretty negligible. It's really just the Tychus that they got to be worried about. But, you know, no fear. They go and they get themselves that Watchtower, and the 4-1 splits come out.
Yep, now it's a battle of who can push quicker. With Zagara being able to summon minions, though, it definitely put the favor into them, into Tempest side, but they do have a Nazebo.
Yep.
One tower is already down at top, so Heroes Hype is just a fraction of a second ahead, but that bottom tower already is out of ammo, and they're already pressuring it, so Heroes Hype coming right back with the pressure. They're going to be able to take out that wall very quickly.
Yeah, Ursadon here with the shield is going to be delaying them slightly, but as you said, you know, the constant minion pressure out of Zagara will actually outdo the Nazebo, but the Nazebo burst with his 3 reset abilities, and he's just going to keep getting mana back every time they kill something near him. It definitely lends itself stronger to the sustain, and you can see Tojam and Earl up into the top. He's doing the damage, but what is Tyrael going to do at level 3? Like, you don't have the cast aside, you don't have an ult, you got nothing.
Now we play the waiting game for the mines to open up. Definitely kind of an awkward moment, I feel, for both teams, because it's like, well, we can't push into a fort. We can't really go up to the other side. All right, we'll just hang out here and clear the wave, you know?
As long as they got somebody soaking, they're not going to lose out on the experience. They're not going to go murking this early. You want to keep the Giants for the Golem. And it does look like Tyrael's actually going to come really late to the party down below. Suki is actually opting to soak as much as he can. He does have a Zed ready to go, I suppose, when he wants to phase shift in. But are we going to see a fight? I see Tempest actually splitting up. They're looking for skull coverage over an engage.
It looks like Suki may find himself in a little bit of trouble. Nightmare and Tojam are going to be able to pick up those skulls very quickly and run away. And
there's like no burst between those two.
Yeah. Now, here we go.
Yeah, Taza coming in there for the front line. He gets shielded out. Here comes the phase. Healing ward is down. It will be Tojam and Earl actually to take it down, which is good. You got to keep very on top of those healing wards. 30% over 10 seconds adds up in a fight, but not a lot of damage on the floor. I mean, we do got predominantly a very tanky team here from blue, and they're actually going to use that to now come back in. Tojam and Earl's on the wrong side of it, though. The poison is not going to be enough for Hawkfu, but the blow up, oh, just not enough for the return kill. So it will be a quick 1-0, but that's the fun thing about here, Haunted Mines. He's going to be back in 3 seconds. He'll probably be back down here within 15. And, you know, Red can't really do much with the Golem if they know that they're about to get 5-man invaded again.
The thing is, though, Nightmare has no mana and very low health, so Heroes Hype does have that going for them, as Zagara won't be able to cast any Hydras or Roaches down on him.
Oh, nice catch on QXC. Vala just got her face melted essentially the wrong way, and even with that dash, it didn't get hit by the Howling. But again, this earlier, tankier team, they're gonna have the early game advantage because it's so much harder to kill them when you don't have a lot of those talents picked up.
Definitely, and it looks like Tempest taking a very aggressive maneuver, going to take their Giants, which will definitely help in their goal in pushing forward, as those Giants really add a lot of damage, but not having them, minor inconvenience, probably won't do them a whole lot of damage, just there to really cancel and negate that extra damage being taken on their golem.
It's a deny, for sure. And they're already dead.
Yeah, they got nowhere. They left the camp, like, all right, boss, let's, yes.
But, you know, Tempest here, they know that they have the smaller golem. They're at 40-60. It's not the worst of splits, and it is just the first golem. I mean, I'd be very surprised if we actually had more than just forts go down because of it. But without those golems, it means that, without that chip damage, it's going to go a little bit farther than it would have had Red actually had that option available to them.
Looks like Heroes Hype is already pushing down that top fort, dropping very quickly. Tempest realizing we need to catch up on it, so they're trying to hurry down and burst it down. Zagara, I think, has Demolitionist, so
she does. Yep.
She will be taking out the ammo very quickly, and that 40 skull can definitely do a lot of damage with nothing shooting at it. I mean, it'll stay alive longer, but both teams are rather even right now. Actually, Hero Hype with a slight lead on their pushing.
Yeah, but again, Zagara, Demolitionist, I mean, that's going to be so much less damage on top of that golem. I said I'd be surprised to see if more than forts went down, but both teams have opted to push. There's no defense going on whatsoever. This is probably going to be keeps for both sides, but it can't be a core race, not this early. I'd be very surprised if one team didn't back off in the next few.
I think that's the moment right now is it's a game of chicken right here, and it looks like here, Tempest is gonna have to back because right now their core is under attack.
Yep. Are we gonna get permanent damage? I'd be very surprised if we did. I mean, the golem might be able to chip right through, but they do actually go home, and they are going to be defending. Their golem, however, is not even going to be breaking the shield. I don't think it's just way too early. Like we don't do enough damage. The golems are hitting for 250, and that shield is, I want to say, like 2,000 or something.
Yeah, it's just tickling it. So, interesting exchange from both teams. Now both of those lanes are going to be pressuring. You got to watch out for that back door, but being that it's so early in the game to have those keeps and have the cores vulnerable, it's a little bit difficult to just end it now in comparison to before closed beta, you know.
Level 10 advantage. Heroes Hype have soaked a little bit better. They do got 2 kills to their name. Who was the second kill? All right, the double DPS died. That's right. So yeah, both of them were in the mine. So that's fine. That's where we're seeing the difference in experience. Now they're pushing into the bottom because there's literally nothing else for them to do on the map.
ETC still floating what ultimate he's going. I'm interested. Is he gonna go the Mosh? I feel like Mosh is almost a must, but
unless you're going to go for some kind of big backdoor shenanigans, I mean, the only thing that could follow him backdoor-wise would be Bright Wings, so...
It's not a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, the Mosh for the lockup would leave us a lot of setup time. Yeah, it would leave us a lot of setup time for the Odin, for the Ravenous, for the Emerald Wind, for the Archon. It's almost too important to not take it at this point.
Definitely. So Giants will be picked up on Heroes Hype. Probably won't get too far. Mines still waiting. Yet again, we're back to that awkward dance of the teams where you're afraid to take an engagement because if you die and suddenly the mines pop, you're going to be down a man, and that gives the opposing team a huge advantage.
Now you can see right now, Heroes Hype, they're really protecting out these Stone Bros. They really want to make sure that they get all the way up to that tower. That might actually force out a fight. Both teams are 10. They do got all their ults. The Strafe is there, the Devouring Maw looking for the setup on the Divine Storm and Judgment. So, we might actually just decide that, hey, this is the time. Now would actually be a really good time for a pick. And yeah, I think they thought that they might have had a chance there on top of Yuki, but he does actually slip on down.
They do not plan to do shenanigans. This does delay Tempest, though, from entering the mines, giving them a small advantage, but here they come right in.
Yeah, because we had the split here from Heroes Hype. It's going to be going on top of Ursidon for some strange reason. Taz is up there. This is a good spot for That Mosh, we do got the Maw and the Judgment off to the side. It's going to lock up Hawkfu. That's not going to be a Ravenous whatsoever. He's actually now going to be down, but they traded it for the Arthas. Nightmare's now actually going to be stuck in place. He's going to drop. Toe Jam and Earl's going to have to get out of dodge, and I think Trouble's going to go with him. QXC had some errant missiles, but it's not going to be Gil there. Oh! That mosh pit is going to be the end of Uther. So on the back of everything, a 3-for-1 exchange, 4-for-1 exchange. As there goes the Vala as well. Heroes Hype looking strong, Mr. J.
They're doing really well. That was a really nice engagement. Nazebo was in a really great spot, but he just got jumped on so quickly and shut down so fast that they weren't really able to react. They got one, but after that, all their damage was pretty much negated.
So the tanky team is just, it's still not tanky enough, it seems.
Yes, I think I got mixed up in my own head.
Well, I mean, it was a 4-man wipe. Right now, Heroes Hype is still very much in control of the map. They got the 13. They have a much bigger golem, and that's an 85 golem.
It's on a core.
Yeah. We're not even setting up for defense. We're just going to try to push with 3 catapults into the bottom, but you know, we have relatively, you know, few ultimates actually across the board, but if I have to give anything, this fight, you know, we do have many more of the ultimates ready to go here for Tempest. They're going to try to leverage this into a fight, but that window's still, you know, it's the mosh pit here is for 40 seconds. If the Heroes Hype doesn't go down, then I think that could be it. And yeah, speaking of it, sorry, Emerald Wind, it comes out. Zagara gets blown off on the back of all of that. Toe Jam and Earl is now just way too far forward. He's going to look for the blow up on top of Suki. Can't get it. There's not enough speed. The Tychus is here. He's trying to take down the Oop, but Oop is now actually going to be dropping, and Trouble could not keep up the team. 3-for-1. Golem is dead. And on the flip side, an 85 is now pounding away at the core, and I don't think the core can handle it.
With 3 catapults now positioning up too, I don't think there's enough time or enough damage that Tempest can do. It looks like Zagara and Vala are up, but that is so much, and it is permanent damage. Maw going down onto the catapults to try and lessen as much damage as possible, but that golem is taking no damage whatsoever. It's slowly poking it down. Heroes Hype coming in to try and get that last finish. And the golem will slam the ground, destroying the core. Heroes Hype taking it 2-0.
You know, if you ever asked me who would actually win in a best of 3 of Heroes Hype and ESV Tempest, I would have said 2-1, but I'm not entirely too sure who I would have named. But a 2-0 sweep here for Heroes Hype, that's actually fantastic for them. Suki, Yuki, Hawkfu, Ursidon, and Taza are actually going to go into the ESL Majors. They're going to be competing now for some big money prizes with some of the teams like the new Tempo Storm, both of the Cloud9s, Barrel Boys, Murlocs Inc. There's a lot of big talent in there now. They're actually part of that top 8 NA, so congratulations.
They actually have one more to go.
What?
There are
best of 3.
There's 4 teams competing, though.
But we inducted 3 more on Friday.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
How many open spots are there?
Well, there wasn't supposed to be any, which is why this is a very impromptu stream.
That's why we're all confused.
Yeah. So the first January qualifier was the first 4 teams. That was Cloud9, Tempo Storm, Murlocs Inc., and Barrel Boys.
Yep.
And then they were forbidden from playing in January, because that was the December finals. Sorry, they were forbidden from playing January because they're already queued up and ready to go. So then January finals were actually on Friday, and it was 2ARC. The other Cloud9 team, there was 2 more. Evil Geniuses and Glorious all went to finals. So they were now in the majors. One of those 8 that I just listed has apparently dropped out. We don't have a public name, but that's why these guys were competing.
So there's only room for 1 though, right?
There's only room